The unit, 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 the unit.
Right, here we are back again, episode 3. How are we keeping? Why can't I hear my voice? I don't want to hear my voice. 1 second now. Bear with me. Technical difficulties. Here we go. This one. And oh, that's absolutely fucking blasting. That's the problem. No, there we go. That's better. How are we all keeping? What's the story? Episode 3. 3. This is going to be 3 hours of me talking already. So at this stage, I'm just a podcaster now. Like, do you know what I mean? And like when I first started recording the first episode, I was like, first episode now. But now I'm like, a podcaster, man. I'm a podcaster. It's who I am. It's in my blood. It's in my genes. I'm not wearing jeans. I'm wearing a tracksuit pants, but it's in my tracksuit pants. No, I'm a lot more chilled out now. I have my shoes off. I have my feet up. I have a cup of tea, and I brought a can of Coke not with me, so that my mouth doesn't get too dry. Because I find when I'm talking for too long that I'm in the last episode, I'm not even going to do weird fucking mouth actions now because it might come through on the microphone. It'd be very annoying. And if it was me watching someone else's podcast and they were doing all that bullsh with their mouth, I'd be like, why is he making all eating sounds and I'll turn him off there. Joke thing. But I was in town today. I just said I'd say this to you and see what you reckon. I was in town today and in the city centre now, mind you, and I seen an Audi coming towards me, heading towards the city centre direction. And he was doing about 75 mile an hour. Why? You're going into the middle of town. You can't speed through town. There's cars, there's traffic everywhere. It was fucking rush hour, like, pretty much. Not rush hour, but the hour that I was in there, like, was rushy enough, know what I mean? But he wasn't going to be able to make any time, like. So I don't understand what the big rush is. Like, why is he doing 75 mile an hour through town? He's like, out of my way, I got to get the Guineas. There's pillowcases on sale. Guineas is still going to be there, like. Know what I mean? So I don't understand the need for speed in the city centre. You know what I mean? How? Yeah, you're not going to make any time. You know what I mean? Anyway, why do I keep saying, you know what I mean? That's what I'd love to know. But I do feel a lot more comfortable. I do feel like, I don't know, am I flown as well as I was in the last episode? I thought the last episode, no, I was fucking loose. Everything fine, you know what I mean? I'm going now as well, like, you know what I mean? There's no fear of me or anything like that, but I need to stop saying them words that I keep saying over and over again. I went and got 4-in-1. I'm not finished it too long. I had to actually wait a while before I started recording because I was after eating and I didn't want to record too close to eating because, yeah, for obvious reasons. But yeah, I went to get a Chinese and I went in, I ordered it, I rang it and ordered it, and I went in and sat down while I was waiting for it and walked in the door, and it's weird that the waiting area for the food was colder than I was outside. Like, I don't understand how the 2 girls were working behind the counter. Like, it was freezing. I could see my breath and all sitting down the Chinese, like. But and your one in behind the counter was just wearing normal, just wearing clothes, like. Wasn't even wearing a big anorak or anything, like, or a hat. He was just wearing normal physical clothing. Know what I mean? I was sitting there rattling. I think, did I have my jacket on? Did I have it on a tracksuit? Did I just have it on a tracksuit? Did I just have it on a tracksuit or did I have a jacket on? Can't remember, but I was Baltic anyway. It was like the Swiss Alps. Are they cold? Some cold anyway after that. But yeah, it was absolutely freezerific in there. And I didn't go get a Chinese because, like, it's a certain day where it's my treat or anything like that. I'm just a fat prick, like. Not fat, like, but I just have, you know, kind of, like, not where people have, girls say, like, they have resting bitch face. I have resting dad bod. And, yeah, I just get a few ditties, like, and a bit of a belly, you know what I mean? And it just kind of stays at that. And it doesn't, like, if it fluctuates, it goes up nearly a stone and down nearly a stone. That's the way that my weight stays all the time. So I can just kind of eat anything, but I hate. Sick of fucking cooking. Just why do we have to eat every single day? And like I'm after using up, I'm after eating all the food. You know, I've tried it all. Well, no, I haven't tried it all, like, you know what I mean? But everything that I eat all the time. Like, wait, when was the last time they came out with some new food? We need new food. Like, bacon. I love bacon and cabbage and stew and bolognese and all that jazz, you know what I mean? But when are they going to bring out some new food? Like, I'm just sick of cooking the same old shit. Like, when was the last time I was seeing an ad? Like, check out this brand new dinner from JML. Like, there's never like new dinners released, or for like if there is, then why aren't I seeing them? Like, because I want to eat different things. I want to be sitting down. I want to be sitting down. Someone ring me. Hi, what are you doing? I'm sitting down waiting for my dinner. What are you having? I'm having spippities and brap. They'll be like, what's that? I'll be like, oh, that's the new dinner of spippities and brap. You know, just totally different. I don't want to be eating spuds and something, or chicken and something, or beef and something. You know what I mean? I want spippities and brap. Do you know what I mean? And they're just completely different meat and carbs and things combined. You know what I mean? And they're just, yeah, I don't know. I just want to fucking come on. Like, we've seen spuds before, like, and chips and what do you mean? So chips, mash, baby potatoes, and there's all the other ones, right? Like, you're not going to make them normal. Like, my mother used to make a stew, and she'd just put the normal, like a quarter of a spud into it, we'll say. All them. They're spuds, like, you know what I mean? But they're just in your stew. And you're like, what are you doing? Are you not meant to be mash? You know what I mean? And they're just like, no, we're just normal spuds. So yeah, there's spuds. No, there's mash, there's baby potatoes, and there's chips, right? Then there's like veg. No. Yeah, there is veg. I'm not saying there's not veg. I'm not a conspiracy theorist who thinks there's no such thing as veg. I know veg is the real thing, like. But I mean, I'm talking, right? So you can have something with chips, mash, baby potatoes. You can have rice. You can have pasta. What else is there? Is there more? There is more, surely. Maybe that's just what I cook. But you know, like, they're the fucking, like, the base things. And you're like, oh, today we're having spuds and meat. What are we having tomorrow? Rice and meat. What are we having the next day? I guess we'll have some pasta and meat. And what are you supposed to do the fourth day? Rotate it? What are you having now? Oh, we're having spuds and meat again. What's tomorrow? Rice and meat. What about the day after that? You know what it is? Pasta and meat. We're like, this is 6 days now. So what's on the seventh day? I don't know what God brought on the seventh day. I was going to make a joke and say that, but I don't know what it is. But yeah. Yeah, so I'm sick of that, so they should fix that. And like, Christopher Columbus or one of them should bring out more dinners. I know he's not around anymore. He's in jail or something, but someone should invent more dinners, like. Because it's just, yeah, I ate everything. I tried it all, like. But I mean, I had it, like, so I just want something different now, if that's okay. So if I could get something different, that'd be great. But yeah, going back to what I was saying. So I did that thing last week, things what I overheard in public, and I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. Because I'm able to make a joke about something that I see, like, and put a funny spin on it or whatever. But for things like that, I'm just telling you what I saw, and then there's nobody here to bounce off or anything like that, where they'll go like, oh, really? And what about this? And did he, was he really doing 75 mile an hour now? You're just saying that. And I'd be like, no, really, 75, So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that topic. Section? Sounds professional, doesn't it? Sounds like that fella who was behind me in the charts yesterday, or whenever it was, in the trending charts on Spotify. I was 26 in the trending, and Joe Rogan was 27. pack it up, Joe. You can go, buddy. I'll take it from here. Hey, Jamie, can you pull that up for me? Or something, I don't know. I never watched it. But, yeah, so I don't know. I might just, like, yeah, I don't know. Will I have things what I overheard in public as a section? Or what? Or will I just tell you about the things what I heard in public as well as things what I saw in public? Just like your man Diadi doing 145 mile an hour through the middle of town. But yesterday, I think it was. Yesterday. Saw 2 van people yesterday. And like I think like most people apart from me are mad. Like I think I'm mad my own way. But things that other people do and things that other people say and their views and how they carry on, I think is mad. Most people, like, because, like, I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's just, I just can't wrap my head around some of the stuff that people say or think or do. Like, I seen a van, go back, push you back. I seen a van yesterday, and there was 3 people in the van, 3 men in the van. And the fella driving, so there was, no, you know when you're in a van how close you are to your passengers, right? So your man was driving, and he picked his nose, and when I was passing, like I was coming towards him, we ran opposite sides of the road, and when he was coming towards me, he picked his nose, and he held it out in front of himself to get a look at it like that, and he had 2 passengers next to him. Imagine if you're in a van with someone, and they just pick their nose, and they're just like, yeah, that. If I was in the passenger seat, I'd be like, it's a snot, you horrible bastard, throw it out the window. Know what I mean? And he's there inspecting a snot off himself. So, yeah, that's mad anyway. Everyone is... Oh, no. I've the clip out of The Simpsons where Homer goes, boy, everyone is stupid except me. But I don't really want to be calling people stupid. Like, my mouth's gone dry already. Would you believe that? Wonder why. Yeah. So everyone's not stupid. Everyone's kind of weird. Like, you're probably weird as well. In your own way. And I'm definitely weird in my own way. Oh yeah, I don't get it. So the second van person that I saw drove past me. He was driving a small van, like a Ford Connect, I think it was. And so he was driving and he was coming off the roundabout. And when he came off the roundabout, I could see, like I was on the roundabout, sorry. I was on the roundabout and he was just coming out onto the roundabout with me, we'll say. And I looked over just to check, was there enough space between us or whatever. And I looked at him. And when I looked at him, I kind of got distracted by, not distracted, but something caught my attention in his van. I thought, what the fuck is that thing? I thought it was an air freshener or something, right? I was thinking, that's fucking big. Do you know what it was? So he's driving the van. Where's my steering wheel? I don't want to hit my mic. So he's driving the van and we'll just say his driving position is here, right? His roof for the van will just say is here, okay? So up at the front by the windscreen is where your dash cam would be mounted, we'll say, right? But whatever way he had this dash cam wired, the wire was travelling back like half, like, I don't know, like about this much, we'll say, from the windscreen. It was travelling back and the wire was going up into the roof that way. So it was obviously wired that way and going in along, right? But the dash cam had came off the window and he was just driving around with the dash cam just swinging around next to his head. He's just driving along and the dash cam is just doing all this next to his face. And he's there coming onto the roundabout like that. How? How can you do that? Like, even if I'm driving and Circle K now have white lids on their coffee cups, they used to be brown like last year. Yeah, well, obviously last year because it's like the fucking something of January now, like. But yeah, the lids used to be brown. Was it even early last year they still used to be brown, or was it the year before that? The end of the year before, or whatever the fuck it was anyway. But I remember coming in one day and they had white lids on their coffee cups. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. And I said to the girl behind the counter, I said, what's the story? Your coffee cups, did you get the wrong order of lids in or what? And she goes, no, they're the new ones now. Like, why? Because when you put them up on top of the dash, if you have a cup holder up by the window, you just see a big white circle on your windscreen. And that distracts the fucking shit out of me. So how is this fella going around with a dash cam doing all this next to his face? Know what I mean? Lapping around like. So yeah, I don't know. Everyone is kind of weird. Um, and as I said, I am too. So and that's mad. Like that's mad. I just don't get it. There was stuff that I wanted. Like I don't know. Am I meant to come in here every time and? See, I can't come in every time and continue from the last one. I kind of need to get used to that. I can't come in and go, like previously on the Unit podcast, and then like give you a breakdown of what happened in the last podcast. Know what I mean? Because some people might only jump in on this podcast and want to just check what it's like on the third episode and just like, I'll just try on this one because it might have popped up in their feed or whatever the fuck. Um, so I don't really want to be doing too many throwbacks. I need to learn how to wrap things up on an episode and leave it there. And maybe reference them again, but not finish the story on the next episode. Know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I felt like there was something in the last episode that was meant to continue on from. And, well, not, I wasn't meant to continue on from, but I wasn't finished what I was saying. So, I'm here now going, I should finish what I was saying about that. But I was talking about anyway when I crashed my car into not my car, I crashed my bike into a wall. I love it. I don't care. I can still hear myself. I don't give a bollocks. I love it. I lashed my bike off a wall. I love it. So yeah, but anyway, if you didn't listen to the last episode, go back and previously on the Unit podcast. Walshy lashes his bike off a wall and then busts his thumb in bits. And he goes, gets better sausages. But anyway, so that was my hobbies that I was on about, and I couldn't stick to my hobbies. And that hobby ended painfully and scarily, but luckily, didn't end luckily. No, didn't end luckily, but I was lucky. Well, I wasn't lucky because of what happened, but I was lucky because of my minor injuries that I got. I was going to say minority of my injuries. Just lagging, but I don't think that's right, is it? So yeah. Oh yeah, sure. I ended up fucking skipping through the story and all and telling you that, oh yeah, this bike and I was driving it and I crashed it and I was like, oh hold on, that was a different bike. But yeah, so bear with me. As I said, ADHD Avenue, as far as I know. But leading on to that, I went for my first meeting today for, I don't know what we call it, a meeting. No, an appointment, I suppose. To start off my assessment for ADHD or whatever the fuck is going on in my brain. I had that appointment this morning. So so I went in and I got there a few minutes early, and security told me wait 5 minutes or whatever, and he let me in. So I went in and I was standing there waiting, and he says to me, oh sorry, no, she'll be with you in a minute, she's just in making her tea. I said, you're fine, there's no hassle, whatever. Waited there for a few minutes anyway, and he sent me into a waiting room. Sorry, the girl behind the desk took my information, she sent me into the waiting room. So I went into the waiting room and I walked in, there was just chairs everywhere, like leather kind of one-seaters around the whole perimeter of the room, we'll say. So I walked in and she was after giving me a little questionnaire to fill out. And so I walked in and I walked over to the corner and I was going to sit down there because there was a little rad there and I was going to sit next to the rad because it was absolutely Baltic. So when I got over there and I was just about to sit down, I was half in the squat position and all to sit down, and I looked up on the wall and there was a big chunk of fresh plaster on the wall, as if someone had punched a hole in the wall and plastered over it. But it was about 6 foot more, maybe about 6.5 foot up. So I don't know, did someone just walk over and go, and like dig up or something? Or maybe there was a different reason, but it was very strange. It's a waiting room, like, and there's just a hole in the wall up there, like, you know, and I went over and I was just about to sit down, spotted the hole in the wall, and I thought, sit over here now so I can take a Snapchat of that and whatever. I was thinking, will you fucking concentrate on what you're supposed to be doing? Look where you are. Look what you're here for. And you're worried about sitting over the other side so you can take a Snapchat of the wall. So I did go over and sit there, and I took my phone out and I thought, no, put your phone in your pocket. Put my phone in my pocket anyway. And there was this like list. It was like a questionnaire. And they ask you like, how did you get on at school? Did you struggle academically? Did you struggle socially? Was it hard for you to make friends and this and that? So I was like, yes, all of them. So, but there was a lot of the childish stuff. Childish? There was a lot of the childhood stuff that I couldn't actually remember because I don't have a good memory of when I was a child, but yet something that happened when I was 20, we'll say, I could fucking tell you I could tell you the full conversation that me and somebody else had, we'll just say. But yeah, when I was younger, I just don't remember any of that. So I just kind of said it to your man when I went in. I said, look, I kind of estimated some of them, I said, because I don't really remember. And they were like, do you know what? Some of the questions were like, were you, uh, were you inclined to have a short temper and would you get angry a lot and stuff like that? I was like, no. And then there was another one there about when you're an adult saying like, would you have a short temper and would you get angry? I was like, no. There was 4 options on the top of the page and you had to tick the one that was most appropriate. So there was like never, often. There was 5 options, I think. Never, often, quite regularly, very quite regularly, and extra very quite regularly, or something like that. It wasn't them, but no, something like that. So I was ticking all the ones like, no, I'm not an angry person, and I'm a very calm person. I love kicking this fucking table and bouncing my microphone all over the place. It's a good crack. But that's the extent of my anger now. The way that I just said that, which is not anger at all. Yeah, I'm just a very calm person for some reason. I don't know, but I'm gonna go get my coke now because I'm absolutely mouth dried. A minute. Yeah, bit of ASMR. I never question myself this much, but I just know that so many people are watching. I'm gonna be like, oh, look at him saying ADFU. I don't know. I'll make sure I'm saying it right. Like, oh yeah, he opened up his can of coke now. That was a bit of LMFAO for us. But so I went down and I went in and I filled out the form, and the doctor called me in, and so I sat down and he had another big load of questionnaire things. So I sat down and it was like it was a long kind of an office. Um, it was too kind of big for just his chair or my chair. Do you know what I mean? It was like there was way too much space. There was all presses and a countertop and all that kind of stuff. So when I got in there, I was kind of looking around thinking like, strange looking office. What's going on? And he actually had a shoebox propping up his laptop, like a box off a pair of tackies, and his laptop was just sitting up on top of it. I thought that was a bit mad. But that was me going in, taking notice of everything in the room, thinking, why is that? And how come this? And how come I'm wearing that? And it just got me thinking. I was like, fuck, I really do need to be here, like, because I was just in, like, just taking in my surroundings and not, like, already not focusing on concentrating on what I was supposed to be there for. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so when I first sat down, he asked me 1 or 2 things or whatever, like literally 1 or 2 things. And then he says to me, so are you single? I was like, I'm not here for that. No, I'm here to check in here, to be worrying about my marital status now at all, bud. But no, he asks, just asks you some questions like that. And then he kind of went through again and like kind of asked me more in-depth questions that were like a little bit further than the ones that were on the page. And like when I first went to the doctor, so the reason I'm telling you so much about this is because there might be other people out there who want to go about it and maybe they're, I don't know, intimidated by it or whatever the fuck it is. But I've been meaning to do this for years and just suss things out and see what I can do and see is there anything that I can do to help my brain, help me to understand like what's going on and what I can do to try and help myself, you know what I mean? Or if there is even anything that I can do. But yeah, so I went to the doctor, told the doctor my concerns, and the doctor said, okay, blah blah blah, sent off And the HSE got back to the doctor and said, okay, here's this questionnaire form. Give this to the patient and let him fill it out and bring it back in. So the doctor rang me about 2-3 weeks after I was in first. So I was like, fuck, this is moving along swiftly. Like, they're already ringing me to fill in this questionnaire. So about 3 or 4 days later, I went in to collect this questionnaire. So I was thinking, I could have probably collected this sooner because I'm waiting for it. Like, they got it to me so quickly, I should be in a bit more of a rush to get it and fill it in and hand it back in. So as I said, after about 3-4 days, I went in, collected the form, and I put it in the glove box of the car and left it there for 3 weeks. Diagnosis complete. Do you know what I mean? This is like, I took the time out, booked the doctor's appointment, paid for the doctors, sat down, told the doctor, oh, I feel like this and I feel like that, and I'd like to get this checked and that checked, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, yep, no problem, Rod. Sent off, got the ball rolling for me, and then I just get the forms and throw them into the glove box and leave them there for 3 weeks. Like, there you go, diagnosis, bing, yeah, you have, you're on that page. Do you know what I mean? So eventually I got him and filled him back in, dropped him back into the doctor, and that I'm after being in the room now talking to your man, and now I'm going back to the start fucking telling you all that. But anyway, I dropped the forms back in, and then they sent them back to the HSE. So then the HSE got in contact again with me directly this time, and they said, look, we've reviewed your form and everything else. We'd like to offer you an appointment, which is the one that I went to today. And so, yeah, I went in anyway, and your man asked me all these questions and just sussing out how I'm handling life and how things are going and what difficulties I might be having and stuff like that. And I told him all that. And then at the end of it, I was thinking, like, this is grand. He was like, oh, yeah, just this last question and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, that's grand. No, the ball is rolling. He's at the end of what he wants to ask me, and, you know, I'll get answers, kind of a thing. Like, and he goes, yeah, that's everything I need from you. So, you have to wait now to hear back from the HSE again. I was like, right. So how long would that take normally? Oh, well, it could be a couple of months or year or 2 years or whatever. I think I'm very great. I'm don't get me wrong, no, I'm grateful. I'm obviously fucking taking the piss as well, slightly. But I'm thinking like, I thought the ball was rolling, but someone's after picking up my ball now and sticking a knife in it, know what I mean, and bolting it over the neighbour's wall or something. And there was me thinking that my ball was rolling, but the ball rolled a bit and stopped. My ball is after getting stuck in a tree, I suppose. So my ball was, no, sure, how would it get stuck in a tree if it was rolling? Got stuck in a drain, a pool. My ball got stuck in a big puddle, right? And it's floating around. And eventually, when the weather gets better and the puddle dries up, my ball will start rolling again. That's the way I look at it now. That's the analogy that I'm going to go with. But, yeah, so that's the kind of story so far. And I'm glad that I've gotten that far so quickly, in fairness. I just really hope it's not as long as he's saying. I know beggars can't be choosers and stuff like that. But, you know, yourself, you'll be impatient about things, whatever. But he was kind of asking me, like, how... Did he say, what way did he word it? He was asking me, like, can I complete tasks or something like that without getting easily distracted, or... Remember what way he worded it or whatever. So what I said to him is, I was sitting here looking at him, and that countertop thing I was telling you about was over there. It was like almost, it was like a kitchen unit kind of, just with a flat top and all doors and drawers in the front. And then on the top, it was just all doors again, do you know what I mean? But the top of the countertop was made out of metal, which I thought was very weird. Obviously, it's like a medical kind of place, I suppose, but I think it's only like interior. Medical? Internal medical, like, do you know what I mean? It's not, like, I don't think you can go in and get a hip replacement or anything like that, do you know what I mean? So I don't know why they have metal surfaces like that in there. It was a bit strange. So I was sitting there talking to him, and he asked me something, whatever it was, and I said to him, I said, being totally honest with you now, I said, I'm looking over there, and I'm looking at that thinking, why does he have like a butcher's countertop inside in his office? I said, that's, like, I know, I said, that doesn't matter to anything than what's going on here, but I'm letting you know that that's where my mind is going while I'm sitting here. Is like, why is there a metal countertop? Why is it not wood? And it related to the question he was after asking me. That's the only reason I said that, obviously. I wasn't just like, oh, hold on a second, no, hold on, yeah, I didn't get on great in school, but why have we got a metal countertop, right? So so I said about the countertop. I said, see that duct on the wall? So there's like like the trunking that you'd hide your wire off your telly in, like the white trunking thing you'd run your wire down through and put the plastic cap on it and it covers it all up. So it was like, do you ever see in places they have like, be in a lot of factories and stuff like that, there'd be like a big thick white one and it'd be running along the whole wall going around, and there's plug sockets all running along it. I think it's so that you can like add plug sockets, as many of them as you need, or run power around the room, and whatever you need there is there without having to go chasing walls or anything like that. And so yeah, the thing was about that thick, I suppose, just a big white trunking going along the wall, probably about a half a foot, I suppose, yeah. All, we'll say. So right next to me here was the end of it, or the start of it, or whatever it was. And it was running down past him, running across, then there was the door, and then it was running back the whole length of the other wall. So when I was sitting here, it was running along this whole length of wall here, back as far as behind me. I was there at one stage when he was talking to me. Before I said it to him about the countertop, I was there at one stage and he was talking to me, and I was looking at my side of the plastic. I was looking at it like this, kind of just glancing at it every minute. And then he'd stop talking a minute and I'd be looking along the rest of it, be looking up the wall. Then I come back down to it again, and I started looking back a bit, and I got as far as the countertop, and I went over the countertop and continued, as I said, all the way down to the back wall. And I was there at one stage, and he was talking to me, and I was looking at the thing, and I was thinking, I was just about to swing my head behind me to kind of look at the whole length of it. And then I thought, he's going to notice that you're doing this. Like, he's trained in this field. Like, do you know what I mean? No, it wasn't a field, it was an office. But I was thinking, he's trained to watch behaviours and mannerisms and stuff like that. And I'm here looking around the whole room, following fucking plastic things up along the wall. But then when I said to him about the metal bench yoke, I said to him, being honest, I said, I'm thinking about that bench and why is it metal and blah, blah, blah. And then I said as well, I said, that white thing here, I said, I'm looking at that one wondering why there's no end on it. Because it was like, it was just exposed. It was like it was cut and there was no cap put on it. But then I was thinking, is there a cap on the other end where it's cut? So that's why I was going to swing around and look. I was thinking they hardly just have that cut here and then cut over there, and they don't have end caps on, whereas they have end caps down there and there. And yeah, that's the shit that I was paying attention to. Like, it just really made me notice the way that my brain kind of goes in those situations where I'm like, I should be concentrating on one thing, but I'm just looking, going, why is there no cap on the end of that hook? And yeah, like, I find it hard. I feel like since I started recording, I'm looking away from the camera a lot more than I have been in the last two previous episodes, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm explaining about how I was in that situation or getting distracted or anything like that, and maybe that's making me do that. But it's weird, like, I kind of do that with eye contact with people as well. So if I'm chatting to someone, like, I'd be looking at them dead on like this, and then I'd kind of start looking off this way a little bit and off that way, and I might look past them if we're talking on the street, or let on and watching something that's going on or whatever, because I just find it hard to keep eye contact for too long, because I just get lost or whatever it is. But like, I don't even like take notice of people's eye colour. Like, I've been in relationships like where, and the girl has said to me like, oh, what colour are my eyes? And I'm like, or she would say something about her eye colour or whatever, and I go, and then she'd go, do you not know what eye colour I have? I'd be like, I'd be like, why, what colour are mine? She's like, green. Oh. So yeah, I don't know. And it's mad to be with someone for a while and not even take notice of their eye colour. Even if you spend a lot of time with them or whatever, do you know what I mean? I think it's a bit, I don't know what it is. It must be the fact that I don't keep eye contact for a long time. But that's the only thing I can think of, like, do you know what I mean? But your man Dim was asking me inside when I said that I was single. He was like, "Oh, okay. So did he say, are you separated?" He says. I said, "No, like I just don't. I'm not married, and you know, I'm not in a relationship or anything like that. I'm just a single man. Like, do you know what I mean?" He was like, "Right, okay." And he was kind of asking, like, "Was I separated?" I was like, what? "No, like, what do you mean separated? Like, I'm just like not with someone, like, you know." And he was like, "Okay, and when did your relationship end?" I was like a year ago, but it was only like for 6 months. Do you know what I mean? He was like, "Oh, right, okay." And what about? And he was trying to. I think he was trying to dig in and see like how my relationships have been and whatever. And yeah, but then when he asked me, he never even asked me like if it affected me in relationships, which it did, which it fucking did, 100% did. But yeah, he was kind of digging in and going like, "Oh," and he was waiting for me to say like, "Oh, I was in a 12-year relationship and it broke down and this and that," but no, it was never that. And he was asking like about relationships and stuff like that. I said, "Look, the longest relationship I've ever been in was like 4 years, and that was toxic as fuck." Like, do you know what I mean? And that wasn't me being toxic as fuck. It was just a toxic relationship. But anyway, we won't go into that. Um, yeah, and yeah, I'm kind of surprised now that he didn't. Well, I suppose the fact that I never had proper long term relationships, he probably thinks that it was fully. What do you think that? We would hardly just judge and go, "Oh, it's because of you, no, because you think you have ADHD. That's why you never had a long relationship." But yeah, that's not the case. That is not the case at all. But yeah, so I was a bit kind of confused about that because he went into it so much and then was kind of like, "Oh," then just drifted on from it. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so so he was asking me like, oh, things that I don't, was he asking me about things that bothered me or something like that? I should have recorded the whole thing and just played it back to you, and I could have just sat back then and thrown my feet up, and I wouldn't have to explain anything. But I was explaining it to him like that. Sometimes when I'm driving, we'll say my van, um, for work, I'd be listening to I listen to podcasts all day long now while I'm at work, and when I'll find a podcast that has 300 episodes, like, and I'll just listen to them one after the other until I catch up. I go back to episode one, and there's sometimes you might start a podcast and start listening to it, and the audio is absolutely shocking, and you can't listen to the start of it because the audio is so bad now. I hope my first episode wasn't that bad, but I did get a couple of people saying that it was a little bit low, but the quality is still okay. And this quality here now on this episode should be the best out of all three. So hopefully it is, and hopefully I'll be able to continue it with this quality. Because the last thing I want is people to be skipping episodes because of bad quality. But yeah, I'll go back and I listen to the whole lot of it until there's no more episodes, and then I have to wait till the following week for the next episode. And while I'm doing that, I'll click on and I'll find another podcast that I've never listened to and go back to the start of that. And it could be 250 episodes or something. And I'll go back to the start of that. And I'll keep listening and listening and listening. And then when new episodes of the podcast that I do listen to come out on a Monday and a Wednesday and a Friday or whatever days they come out, I listen to that new episode. And then to fill all the space in between, I'll go back and listen to this one that I have hundreds of episodes of. And I keep doing that over and over. So eventually I'm just going to have 75 podcasts that I listen to. But yeah, so I said to him that sometimes when I'm driving the work van, why is that mic shaking a lot more today? Oh, it's because I have my hand on the fucking table. But yeah, sometimes, remember I was saying it to you the other day about, or last week was it, about Bluetooth. What's Bluetooth's game like? How is it not perfect? I really don't understand it. Like, I'd be driving away And I might stop the van 5 or 6 times and get out and get back in and whatever, and the music will play away, blah, blah. And then you get in the 7th time, get back in, and then the phone is like, who the fuck are you? Or the radio is sent to my phone. Who the fuck are you? My radio's going, it's me. It's Walsh's phone. I'm connected to you, like. And they're like, I don't know who the fuck you are. I've never met you before in my life. And he was like, Walsh's phone? Haven't heard that name in years. I'm like, man, I was driving this van 8 minutes ago. And then the radio's like, no, sorry, bud, not tonight. And just won't connect back up. And I'll drive along, and I'll be there sometimes, and I might come to a red light, and I'll turn off the van and open the door and close it so that the radio actually properly goes off. And I'll sit there until the light is ready to go green again. I'll start the van and go to try and reset it, to try and reconnect the Bluetooth. But like, that's what I was just saying. I was kind of saying, like, to your man, that things like that as well, I just can't handle, like, things that simple little things that go wrong. I won't say they infuriate me. That's what it feels like in the moment. Do you know what I mean? Now, if there was someone there with me or whatever, I wouldn't take it out. I wouldn't be running and shouting, or I wouldn't be fucking telling, oh, don't be talking to me, I'm trying to fucking do this or whatever. I won't. But it drives me up the wall. Like, I mean to say, it drives me up the wall. Like, and I just don't. Yeah, I just wish I could. That's the only kind of. I suppose that's actually grand. Like, because I can be snapping and freaking and going like, oh, why won't it work? I wish it'd fucking work, but I won't take it out on anybody or argue with anybody. So no harm there really, is there? Could be worse. Like, there's some people out there like, don't talk to me. I'm in a bad mood about this. So that means I'm angry with the whole entire world. You know what I mean? So I'd hate to be like that. So yeah, it's probably better the way I am, to be honest. So yeah, I am fucking unreal. Like, but yeah. Oh, I watched that fucking new documentary about the guards in Limerick. I know it's not a documentary about the guards in Limerick, but these episodes were based in Limerick. But I'd fucking watch shows like that. If that was a show now that was on regularly, like weekly or whatever the fuck, I'd watch it every week. Like, I'm fascinated with all that stuff. I don't know why. And I got pulled over 2 years ago, 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago in December. I was a 3. Anyway, I got pulled over on my way home, and I was actually on the way for a night out. So I was going home to get ready for the night out, I think. And I got pulled over, and the guard says, oh, we're going to do a random drug test. I was like, all right. My friend was in the car with me, and so he actually recorded me talking to the guard, because I said it to the guard. I was like, so come here, I tried weed now when I was about 15. That won't pop up in that, will it? The guard was kind of looking at me like, and I was kind of laughing, you know. And he was like telling me, like, you know, oh, this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it, and, you know, kind of just doing it by the book, so that he was covered in what he, you know, kind of explaining to me what he was doing or whatever the fuck. So I was kind of like, yeah, no bother at all. And then I looked at him, I goes, bud, I said, you realise, I said, this is the biggest waste of a drug test ever, yeah? And he was like, kind of looking at me, and you could tell by him that I was so confident, because I've never took a drug in my life. Like, as I said, I tried smoking when I was younger, and it never, I didn't like it, like, do you know what I mean? So don't ask me how, because I grew up all around that shit, like literally fucking side by side with all that shit, all kinds of bullshit for years, and never tried it, not even once. And I'm very proud of it, actually. Do you know what I mean? It's very weird for especially Irish people to say that they're proud of themselves for something, but I am, like, you know what I mean? I'm kind of proud of myself for creating this all by myself as well. Like, I got a little bit of help here and there, but mostly I did this by myself, like, do you know what I mean? And I'm actually kind of proud of that as well. And as I say, it's not often that I'm proud of things. And we as kind of Irish people are just kind of like that, where you feel like a bit of a fucking idiot. So I'm proud of this now. I'm proud of you, bud. You're proud. Fair play, Joe. It's lovely now. So yeah, but yeah, so they drug tested me, whatever, and the guard kind of towards the end of it, I have the video. I wonder, can I put the video in the episode? I'll try. So if I succeed, I don't know. Yeah, If I succeed, here's the video. Biggest waste of a drug test ever.
It looks like there's a line coming up for cocaine.
No, that's a nice cut point. But I don't know if it's gonna. I'll try. I'll do my best. But yeah. So the guard ended up cracking a joke, saying, "Oh, it's coming up there, positive for cocaine," and I just started roaring laughing, and my friend started laughing, because obviously it fucking didn't like. But yeah, I was thinking to myself after that, I was like, oh, I'd love to know if that was on one of them shows. It'd be funny, like, you know what I mean? It'd be a bit of a breath of fresh air from some of the stuff that'd be going on, whatever. But I would watch that. I love it. Like, if I'm sitting down watching telly, I'll just put on what channel is it? It's like Channel 5 or something like that, where all the police shows and everything on, you know, over in the UK. I'd watch them all day long. Like, I just think they're fascinating, like, just watching all the different things, and you're thinking, like, how did he think that story was going to get him away with, you know, driving that car with no insurance or whatever it might be? How did he, you know, I don't know. I'm just fascinated by him. But you'd miss the old ones, the American ones, you know, like what was it? The world's wildest police chases or something like that. Remember your man? Hi, I'm Sheriff John Bunnell. What way did he sound? I don't know. I'm not very good at impressions, but he was always like, at the start of the episode, there'd be like house getting raided behind him. There was like 5 or 6 police, and they're kicking in the door of a house, and he's just walking along, and it's a pure, like, I don't know, is it a green screen or is it like just a fake raid that they're doing in the background? But there's always mad shit going on around him, and he's just there strolling along up by the squad cars, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Sheriff John Bunnell," and there's a fella getting ripped out of his house by the neck behind him. He's like, "I'm here tonight to talk to you about some of America's wildest police chases." And he's always like, when he puts on the clip and you're watching the car flying down the motorway or whatever, he's always like calling them names and things like, and he doesn't even know who's driving the car. Do you know what I mean? He obviously just gets that. Actually, he's a sheriff and he's doing narrating for a fucking TV show. He's not a sheriff. He's a fucking narrator or something like that. But anyway, Sheriff John Bunnell, he'd be always calling them names and things. He'd be like, "This jackass barrels down the freeway, topping speeds of 75 miles per hour, narrowly missing a school bus with 7,000 children on board." And you're thinking, like, man, like, I don't know what it is, but the way he used to say, "This fucking prick with a stupid haircut narrowly misses this semi on the freeway. This ugly bastard is taking chances." And they tried to do a pit maneuver, but this fucking prick gets out of it. "This ugly bastard thought that he had the police lost. Think not. Think again, dipshit. The long arm of the law is gonna catch you by the neck and put you in the slammer. You're going downtown. This fucking..." You know what I mean? Oh, I don't know. I'd love to do an Irish. Wonder if I send a CV to that crowd, will they let me do the narrating for it? Be good. No, but then sure, I'd have to... No, it's too local, isn't it? I can't call people names locally. No. But yeah, maybe I'd like to narrate the American one, so, and just all people I know. I'd be like, "Watch this fella. This fucking agent, he's booting it down the motorway. What? The shed's now going to do a pit maneuver on him. They're going to catch him. Watch the fucking speed. Has he a fucking... There's an old woman in the passenger seat of that car. Lads and all." And people sitting down watching him. "Hey, what's this Irish guy saying? What's that shit?" But yeah, I missed that TV show. I wonder, can you get it online anywhere? There's probably clips of it on YouTube and all, is there? Because I'd like to watch that now. Sheriff John Bunnell. "This jackass wanker fucking barrels down the freeway, narrowly barreling down the freeway, jackass. This..." You know what I mean? So, yeah. I must look that up because I do miss that show. Yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. I suppose the Irish, the one that was in Limerick, they were saying that they were targeting like organised drug gangs and shit like that or something. But I don't know. I think I'd prefer a traffic one or something. I think it'd be more entertaining. Or like even, do you know what they should do? They should do a one where they go following the people who scam us, who try to scam us. Like, I don't understand how people try scam you through TikTok and all. They'll be sending you messages. Hi, I really like your content. I really like your lifestyle and all this. And I'd like to be your friend and all. And they haven't even sent you a follow request. And you're like, you want to be my friend, yeah? Act like it then, bitch. You know? But I don't know. I don't know what's in it for them. If you follow, I suppose, are they trying to just gain following or something like that? I don't know. A bit of a weird scam. But I went to Dublin a couple of months ago and I was driving up the motorway and I wasn't entirely sure about where I had to go. So I was coming up along and I saw a sign for the toll. Do you know the called E-Flow? E-Flow toll, or is it called E-Flow? The one you have to pay yourself on the phone, not the beep, not that one. The one that you have to go online and log on and pay for it. That one. I saw a sign for that, and I thought, oh, I better remember to pay that now. You have to pay it by 8 o'clock that night, is it, or 8 o'clock the following night? So I thought I won't pay it tonight because I'll be going back down the road tomorrow. So I'll just pay the two of them tomorrow. So that was grand. So I got home on the Sunday. And on the Monday, I woke up in the morning and got a text saying that I owe for the toll flow. And I was like, oh, fuck, I never paid it. So I went on anyway and clicked the link and followed it in and tried to put in my Revolut details. And it was like, sorry, this site doesn't accept Revolut and blah, blah, blah. And I think I cooking the dinner or was I don't know what I was doing, but I was doing something anyway. And I thought, I don't have time for this now. I'll do it in a while. So I forgot all about it anyway. And then I got to the next day and I don't think, did I get a text again the next day? I can't remember, but I tried it again the following day. It was the Tuesday, yeah. So I tried it on the Monday with the Revolut and it was like, sorry, we can't accept Revolut. Please use whatever card. So on the Tuesday morning, I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot to do that yesterday. So I went on again and I put in my card details and it wouldn't work. So I tried again and put in my card details, it wouldn't work. Like, what the fuck is going on with this? So it was actually still on my screen from the day before, do you know, in your apps that are kind of asleep or whatever. Now you press the button and you open up all your apps that are there and you can swipe them off the screen and all that kind of jazz. But the app, the website was still open from the day before in my tabs. So I clicked into that and that's where I was trying to pay it with my actual bank card. And it kept on refusing the payment. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Couldn't understand it. So I thought, oh, bet you the link is dead or whatever you call it. Timed out. I was thinking, bet you the session is timed out and that's why it won't let me do it. So I closed the app fully and instead of the app, I closed the site fully and instead of clicking back into the text message, whatever, I just started typing. So I typed in eFlow and clicked into the screen where you pay and I was thinking, this looks a bit different to what it did. I was like, strange. So I paid it anyway and I paid for 2 trips through it. And when I went to pay for the 2 trips, whatever it was, didn't add up to the same price as what the text message was asking me for. I was like, what is going on here? Maybe it was only for 1 trip. So I put in 1 trip and it still wasn't adding up. It was only like, you know, 120 or €2 or something like that, the difference. But it still looked different. So I thought, you snaky fucking bastards. That's a scam. So so what happened? I went for breakfast because I was going for breakfast. I was stopping on my route is where I used to go for breakfast. So I went in there, ate my breakfast, came back out. And I think I did it. Yeah, I think I tried it just before I went for breakfast. and it didn't work. So I went in and sat down, and that's where it all kind of clicked. I was like, oh, fuck it anyway. So I thought, I'll ring the bank after breakfast. And in the time that I sat down and ate and got back up and sat back into the van, I rang them, and they were like, oh, have you been trying to add your card to Google Wallet, your Google Wallet? I was like, no, I have an iPhone. And they were like, oh, well, in the last however many minutes, they said, I don't know, was it 15 minutes or 12 minutes or something like that? They said someone has tried to add your card to their Google Wallet 12 times or something like that, 6 times or something. Fuck, so it's just as well I rang them when I did, and I had to cancel. I was after taking all my money out of my current account and putting it into my savings account, I think. And then I threw some into my Revolut as well that I could tap my card or whatever and spend away on that. So I thought that'd be grand. No, I'll have that. And sure, then when my money ran out in Revolut, I wasn't able to top back up my Revolut because I didn't have my card details. And it's the card that you need to top up the Revolut. So there was fucking... It felt like about 2 weeks it took anyway for my new card to come, and I was fucking having to tap money off my sister and all. Like, I had the money in my account and I just couldn't access it. No, I went in and I got some money out, and before you know it, then you've that money ran out and you're like, oh, fucking, I need more money now again. You have to go tap someone or whatever the fuck. So yeah, that's... Yeah, I'm telling you that because we were talking about... Well, I was talking about stupid scams and stuff like that. But yeah, it could have been a lot worse. I was lucky, like, and I'd always be telling people as well, don't ever click a link or whatever. But anyway, I noticed, no, what happened? Did I get a letter, or did I get, was it a notice on the website or something when I did go onto the eFlow website? They were like, never click a link on a text message, as eFlow do not send text messages. That's not how we contact our customers or whatever the fuck it was. So yeah, that was a bit of a dead giveaway. A bit of a dead giveaway. No, it has to be just a dead giveaway or a bit of a giveaway. Yeah. I learned from that. You should learn too. Yeah, don't click the text. I know it sounds like the stupidest thing ever, because that's like scam text message 101. Don't click the link. What did Hick Brain do? Click the link. So yeah, but look, I got away with it. Came out of it stronger than I ever was. Know what I mean? I have a little spot here. I don't know if you can see it. A little spot on my nose, and I genuinely feel like Tupac. Remember, he used to have the nose ring. Maybe if I tried to change down kid, I'm up to. Maybe if I tried to change down kid, and I'm a tug till I die, I'm a rider man. So yeah, all that kind of jazz. But yeah, so that is nearly an hour, and that's after absolutely flying. Like fastest episode yet. I've been raring to go to record this episode. I was mad to come in and record it. I don't know why. I'm just loving it because there's just so much positive feedback from what I've done already. And yeah, it's just a good vibe, like, do you know what I mean? And it's becoming a good hobby for me, and a good pastime. But I kind of feel like I'm itching to get in and record, and I don't want to go in and like record a big load of episodes and just have them all sitting there ready to go, because like, I don't know, what if something mad happens and I want to talk about it, and then in fucking 6 months I'm like, Happy New Year, and it's fucking June or something, know what I mean? So yeah, I need to kind of hold my horses and wait until just before the episode has gone out or whatever. But sure, look, this is all part of the learning experience. But I do feel a lot better about recording and about my setup and stuff like that. I'm very happy with the way that things are turning out with it. Yeah. So yeah, and I still have a shitload of stuff to talk about. But I know an hour is kind of the sweet spot for a podcast. So yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it at an hour. That's all right with you? Is that okay? that I have with you. So if you wouldn't mind just subscribing to everything and following all my accounts and click the bell notification on YouTube as well, so you will be notified every time an episode goes up. Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook at Walshunit. Probably leaving one out. I feel like I'm leaving one out. And TikTok is Walshunit41. This episode is also available on Spotify and YouTube. So yeah, there we go. Thanks very much. And I'll talk to you next week. Peace out.
The unit, the unit, the unit, the unit, the unit, the unit, the unit.